So by now, I'm sure you've heard a million times that beliefs create your entire life. So I wanted to do this video as an explanation as to where beliefs come from, how they create your entire life, and what you can do about it in order to make some massive shifts and some massive changes in your life. Okay, so I'm going to be using the example of financial prosperity throughout this entire video because I feel like that's something that a lot of people are trying to draw into their life. So hopefully throughout this video, you'll get some really great tips and pointers on how to create a shift in order to allow more financial prosperity into your life. However, these key concepts and this conversation, it really can be applied to anything you're trying to create. I'm just going to use this as an example for ease, but if you're wanting to bring in, love or better communication or career success or health, whatever it is that you're wanting to bring into your life and you're wanting to create and you're wanting to make a massive shift around, this information can be applied across the board, okay? So if you resonate with what I'm saying and the information I'm giving you, I would appreciate it if you support my channel by clicking subscribe and ring the bell. So we have empowering beliefs and we have limiting beliefs. And then part of limiting beliefs is also fear-based beliefs. Okay, so empowering beliefs would be anything that helps you feel empowered. And you'll know if you have empowering beliefs in a certain area of your life because you feel like there's no resistance. Those are those areas of life that are just kind of working out for you. Okay, so maybe that is financial prosperity. Maybe that's your career. Maybe it's, love life. You never had a problem with that. Maybe you are always in perfect health and you just kind of never get sick. These are all belief systems that are held in your subconscious mind, okay? So take a look around your life and look at your empowering beliefs. Which areas do you feel as though, this just gets to work out for you, okay? And then we also have limiting beliefs. So limiting beliefs is that little voice in your head telling you why you can't do something, why you can't have something, why something is not for you. Okay, and you can look around your life and you can look around your friends' lives and your family members' lives, and you can really start to get an idea of where you are limited. Because those are the areas of life that you are wanting to bring in something new. Okay, so limiting beliefs are really blocks. They're really blocks in your subconscious mind, preventing you from being able to achieve or bring into your life or create whatever it is that you're trying to create. Okay, and then we have fear-based beliefs. Okay, fear-based beliefs are an interesting one because it's really like, I'm going to do this because I'm worried about that. So an example of this would be, I'm going to, stay in this job that I'm not really happy with and I'm not feeling fulfilled with. I'm going to stay in this job because I don't think I'm going to be able to get anything better. So what's the point in trying? Or if I kind of look for something else, then I'm going to have to start all over again and I'm too old to do that. Okay, those are more fear-based beliefs, but they're still part of the limiting belief bucket. Okay, so how are beliefs formed? Well, beliefs are formed usually before the age of 7. And the reason for that is that beliefs are part of your subconscious mind. Beliefs are unconscious programs that run in the background, and they frame how you see the entire world and how you are going to experience it and what you're going to allow into your life. Okay, so let's use our example of financial prosperity. Let's say you were raised in a family where there were constantly money struggles. Maybe you were taught that, rich people are bad and selfish, that if you make money, it doesn't matter because you're just going to lose it all anyway, that there's always going to be more bills than there's going to be checks, that you're always going to have to wait for payday, or maybe, it takes a lot of hard work in order to earn money. The only way to receive money is, working your butt off at a job. And maybe you are just raised with this mindset. Okay, so that is going to filter through the rest of your life, and it's really going to frame how you see the world and what you're going to allow into your life. Okay, and what you're going to allow yourself to create. Now, when we're talking about financial prosperity, let's understand financial prosperity is more of an energetic exchange. Okay, and these limiting beliefs and these fear-based beliefs are literally blocks within your subconscious. They're literally preventing you from allowing money to be able to come to you. And I get that if this is kind of the first time that you're hearing this, it's a little bit strange. And for that reason, I'm going to do a separate video on kind of like the energy of money and how to bring it into your life and how to fully receive it. Okay, so if you're interested in this topic and you kind of want to hear more, definitely hit subscribe, ring the bell so you can be notified when that video comes out. It'll be like in the near future. Okay, so definitely check back. But if we're looking at limiting beliefs surrounding money, then you're probably going to grow up with a very intense focus on the fact that you don't have the finances, that there just doesn't always seem to be enough money, right? Maybe you grow up and now you have a family and money is constantly strained and you just don't feel like you're ever able to kind of make ends meet. This is going to create a desire to bring money into your life. Now, money is our birthright. Money, we just all get to have money, okay? And as I said, I know that this can kind of be a little bit of a difficult concept to wrap your mind around if it's the first time you're hearing it, but I promise you it's absolutely true. The idea of receiving money is being able to allow it. And this is similar to anything that you want to create in your life. You need to be an open channel in order to allow it. Okay, so how do we block ourselves off from creating the life that we want? Well, we have our limiting beliefs, which are in our subconscious mind. Okay, and our subconscious mind loves everything familiar. It wants to compound information. So when information flows through into your conscious mind is your decision maker. It's the analytical and reasoning center. It is, where willpower is kind of stored. Okay, and if we're using the idea of willpower and like effort, that's I will not eat sugar. I will not eat sugar. The reason why so many times we self-sabotage ourselves is because the real work is to be able to go into the subconscious and deal with those beliefs. Okay, that's the way we're going to create some massive change. So we have blocks from our limiting and fear-based beliefs, but then we also have a lot of resistance. Okay, and the resistance when it comes to financial prosperity is you want to create more, but you're focused on the fact that there's never enough. Okay, so we all know that like attracts like. We've heard about the law of attraction, and the law of attraction is always working, but it's always going to work on your focus and your emotions. So even if you say, I'm going to make more money, I'm bringing more money into my life, I'm going to manifest more money, you can say those words, but if you are focused on the fact that you're struggling right now and there isn't enough money and you're stressed about it, that is the frequency. Those are the vibes that you're going to be putting out into the universe, and that's what's going to be reflected back to you. Okay, so that's the reason why that it can be difficult to change our belief systems, because it takes quite a bit of inner work. It takes a lot of effort in order to be able to change those belief systems. Now, I'm telling you, I've done this, and I've done it around money as well, actually. So like, I know what I'm talking about, but it does require a certain amount of effort, okay? And anyone who says that it doesn't is just kind of downplaying it and lying to you, because you have to change your beliefs and become very aware of those trigger points that exist in your subconscious mind. And then you also have to align your conscious mind because of the resistance, okay, in order to be able to get the desired outcome that is rightfully yours. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, first of all, we have to bring awareness to the information and the triggers and the blocks and all of our beliefs in our subconscious mind. Okay, so there's really, from my opinion, there's, 2, maybe 3 good ways to do that. The first way is hypnotherapy. I'm a hypnotherapist. I work with my clients all the time to remove their money blocks and to allow money to flow into their life. Okay, and hypnotherapy, again, I'll do a whole kind of video on how this works so well, but hypnotherapy really works so wonderfully because you're able to access the subconscious mind, and then you are working with a professional who can help guide you through certain experiences and take you back to various belief systems that are no longer serving you. They're just completely outdated. Okay? And then we can work together in order to reframe those belief systems to make them more empowering. Okay? Now, do you need to do hypnotherapy to do this? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You do not need to do hypnotherapy. In fact, when I was overcoming my own money struggles, I didn't do it with hypnotherapy. I was introduced to hypnotherapy like a lot further down the line. And it was when I finally did do like a first few sessions, it was very eye-opening and it was very beneficial because I had already done so much of the work myself. Okay. So the other best way to do it is journaling. And I resisted journaling for a long time as well, but it's really helpful to be able to write down how you are feeling and the thoughts that are going through your head when something does trigger you, when you are feeling stressed out. You need to understand those automatic thought patterns. Okay, so get yourself a journal. And when you get stressed out and when you are feeling uncomfortable, you want to write down in your journal, what are you thinking in your head right now? And then also, how are you feeling? What does it make you feel like, right? If it's stressed or angry or what have you, okay? And then from there, what we can do once you have enough data within your journal, we can start poking holes in the stories that you're telling yourself. Okay, so maybe one of the stories that you're telling yourself is that, you're in a job, but you hate this job. You want to leave this job. It's not giving you the fulfillment that you want. Okay, so you're looking for other opportunities, but you think that you're going to have to start over. Okay, or you think you're going to have to take a giant pay cut. Well, these are all just things that we don't necessarily know. Okay, and these ideas that you're having are going to stop you and going to prevent you from even getting started. Okay, so unless you know something to be an absolute fact, then you need to put that in the pile that's a limitation. And I promise you, you owe it to yourself to explore that job, explore that opportunity. You have to understand that you're not starting from square one. You're starting from a lot of experience. Okay, there's a lot that you're already kind of bringing to the table. So you have to start to disprove it. And then let's just say that you do legitimately have to take a pay cut. It's in a completely different field. Okay, what is preventing you from wanting to kind of take that step? And then we need to talk about all the different solutions and the different ways we can make that work. So the other idea is through meditation. And I get it with meditation. People kind of have the wrong idea about it a lot. And I'll be going through a whole different video because I have a way better method on meditation. And meditation is something that has changed my life. Okay, because I find that when I am kind of going through something stressful and maybe I'm journaling it out, if I go into a meditation and I ask the question about, help me figure this out, at some point within the next few days, I will receive inspired action. But that is really what's going to happen after you're able to kind of allow your mind to be quiet. Once you allow your mind to release the resistance, okay? So the resistance is a mofo. The resistance is going to kind of get you every time. So while you're doing your inner work on fixing your limiting and your fear-based beliefs, then you also have to keep a check on your conscious mind and where you're allowing your focus to go. Okay, so you can't allow your focus to go on the negative, on the idea of lack, on the idea that you don't have enough. You got to be able to stop that. And literally, I mean, there's a few more techniques that are involved, which I'll get into in another video, but really the way to do that is to employ mindfulness. Take 5 deep breaths and focus all your intention on your breaths. Now, something that is it sounds super simple, but you probably never thought about it, is that if you are focusing on your breaths, you actually can't be thinking about something else. So that's why this works. Okay, that's why mindfulness and bringing your attention back to the present moment and focusing on your breaths really works, is because a stressful thought will come up, you'll do your 5 breaths, and then eventually your reaction time to creating that emotion within your body will be able to extend. And then once you get good at that, then now at this point, if a stressful thought comes into my head, now I can just simply say, like, no, like, I'm not going there. I'm not going to do this. And I'm able to switch my thought pattern onto something that is more aligned with what I'm creating in my life. Okay, so this stuff, like, I'm telling you, it works. You got to be able to put in the effort and to kind of go through the process. And don't get me wrong, like, you're going to be confronted with some very annoying truths. But the process starts to happen a lot quicker than what you probably think it will. So I'm so grateful at this point in my life that I did the work, because now, like, I legitimately have changed my entire life. You know, I've changed my entire view on receiving money. I'm able to receive money. The limitations are no longer there. There were a lot, like, for me, I created a lot of limitations when it came to career. I put myself in this box. And through journaling, I was able to really disprove a lot of the things that I was telling myself. And I was able to start getting momentum. And then I started to apply all these other modalities and, you know, like mindfulness. And then I started doing hypnotherapy. I brought in meditation. And within a very short period of time, significant changes and significant shifts started happening within my life. Okay, so I'm coming from a place of knowing that this is true. Okay, so we've talked about how beliefs are formed. They're usually through childhood. And then as you grow up, then your experiences are going to verify the information that you learned in childhood. And that's how it starts to create your entire life, because you're going to be, you know, focused on certain limitations as opposed to focused on the opportunities and bringing them to you. And you know that this is true because you can look around at different areas in your life and you can really get a good idea about the different areas that are working out for you versus the areas that are not working out for you. You can analyze. I've given you 2 and kind of 3 different ways to be able to truly analyze your belief systems. Okay, so focusing on the empowering beliefs, what are going right in your life, is just as important. Okay, in fact, even more important, because it's not necessarily, you don't necessarily have to kind of dig up traumatic events from your childhood or your past and kind of go in and resolve those. But if it's holding you back in your life, then you're not going to be able to get forward. So you just need to be able to bring awareness to, these are the beliefs, and then we need to go through and create more empowering beliefs. And the way that we create empowering beliefs is to focus on everything that's going right. Okay, we're not going to pay attention or give any focus to the areas of life that are going wrong. So one common belief that I believed, and that I'm sure a lot of other people are believing, and saying, well, if I'm just happy in this area of my life, then the universe or God or whatever you want to call it, source, whatever, then it's going to believe that I'm happy here and I'm going to get more of what I'm getting. But that's not true. That's not true. Once you remove the resistance, then it starts to flow to you a lot easier. Okay, so you have to get to a point using mindfulness and then just simply not engaging in certain thoughts that come up for you when a stressful event happens. You can't give that power anymore. You can only give power to the empowering beliefs. So neuroplasticity, it is like a fancy word for learning, okay? When you learn new information, it becomes an automatic thought, okay, and automatic neural pathway. So our brains have millions and millions and millions of these neural pathways. And what it basically means is that you can get from point A to point H through a certain automatic pathway. Okay, it's kind of like muscle memory for your brain of sorts. What you need to do is train it to go a different way in order to get to a different outcome. Okay, so you got to pay attention to your automatic thought patterns. You know, like, why does A equal H in this way? Okay, so a really great way to be able to overcome that are by affirmations. And affirmations, and I get it, they sound kind of like hoo-hoo, and however, affirmations really play a vital role when we're talking about neuroplasticity, because we have to compound information. And affirmations are just an easy way of doing that. So what I want you to do is come up with 3 very empowering affirmations of different areas of your life that are working out for you, right? Come up with 3 different affirmations, and then add in 2 affirmations in the areas of life that you are wanting to create something new. So if we're using the idea of financial prosperity, then those 2 affirmations should be something to the effect that, you know, money comes from me from multiple ways. I am constantly receiving unexpected money. Opportunities just flow into my life. I am an open receiver for mass amounts of money, those sorts of things. And the fact that it feels uncomfortable right now just tells you that it's not a belief that your subconscious already believes. So your subconscious is going to want to push that out. It's not going to want to accept it. But through enough repetition and enough compounding, then it will eventually be able to accept it. So this is something that I learned, you know, way back when. It's probably one of the first things that started really making significant shifts and really, you know, being that bridge to belief to let me know that I can do this is through affirmations. Because once I started accepting these affirmations as true and I didn't feel that uncomfortable feeling anymore, then that's really when certain shifts started to happen for me. And I was able to start buying into this a little bit more. Sometimes all we need is a bridge to belief. We need to see that someone else is doing it and that we can do it too. Now that's an empowering belief, right? That, you know, oh, something new is happening in my life, but if that person can do it and that person is achieving success, then so can I. Okay, so if you use me as a bridge to belief, I mean, I've done everything that I'm talking to you about. Okay, so where do beliefs come from? They come from childhood, and then they are compounded through the experiences that we go through in our lives. Okay, why is it so difficult to change your belief systems? That's because belief systems are held in your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind doesn't want to make those changes. It wants to compound information that's already familiar to it. Okay, and the only way to be able to make those changes in your life is to make your unconscious programs and your automatic thought patterns bring awareness to those. And the best 2 modalities that I know to do that, again, are hypnotherapy and then journaling. Okay, would be a really great way to do it yourself. Okay, those are the 2 best ways to do it. And then I would back each of those onto learning meditation, and tune in for my meditation video, because I promise it's going to be a lot easier than probably the idea that you have in your mind if you don't already meditate. Okay, I got a better method of doing that. But it's through meditation that allows your mind to just kind of be quiet. Okay, and it allows inspiration to come through you. Now, Do you have to meditate? I mean, I would definitely suggest it because that's when I get like my best inspiration and my best ideas from it. But you don't have to, but you do need to kind of allow, I would say that if you don't want to meditate, then you definitely want to work really, really, really hard, like harder than someone who is meditating, on the idea that you have to remove resistance. Okay, remove resistance about the things that you are wanting to create, because that focusing on the things that are going right in your life and just not paying attention to the things that are going wrong. And I get that that is a really difficult thing to do when you're going through something really difficult right now. I understand that, but that really is a way to receive these inspired nudges and to be able to allow you to kind of move in to a certain direction and solve a lot of these different problems. So I have a meditation on YouTube under one of my other companies, which is Precious Pine Cones. I'm actually going to upload it to my Activated Alignment YouTube channel here. And it's going to be about the maze of clarity. And that's really going to tie in together about receiving these inspired nudges and really being able to listen to your inner guidance. That's really kind of what it's all about, because that's where you're going to get a lot of your different answers and the solutions that are coming up. Okay, it's going to tell you what you need to learn next, and it'll bring forward information on how to kind of help you in your journey. Let me tell you something, that once you remove resistance and you start working on your limiting blocks or your limiting beliefs and getting rid of these blocks, like an entire world opens up for you to be able to access just all of this information, to be able to move forward in a very aligned life. Okay. So I've mentioned that I'm a hypnotherapist. I'm also an alignment coach. I have this wonderful program where it's alignment coaching and it's hypnotherapy, because as you've learned today, alignment is really going to come from and stem from your belief systems being empowering in your subconscious, and then also your conscious mind reducing the resistance, okay, getting neuroplasticity to work in your favor and dealing with your limiting or your automatic thought patterns in order to create the life and align with the desire that you are bringing forward in your life. So if you are interested on one-on-one coaching, then definitely reach out to me. The link to my website is in the description. It's Mindful Abundance Hypnotherapy. Reach out to me. I'd love to work with you one-on-one. And if you have any questions about the material that we've kind of gone through today, then send me an email. I would love to open up a dialogue. I'll answer any questions that you have. Mindfulabundance@outlook.com. My entire goal here in creating this channel is to be able to make impacts in other people's lives, because it's worked so well for me and I've really been able to overcome a lot. I have a really great system and steps that I feel like I can share, and now I feel like I've been called upon to be able to teach this to somebody else and help you improve your life. And by improving your life, your social circle, your family, your friends will all benefit. Again, you will now be the bridge to belief, to let people know that anything is possible and you can really create whatever life you decide that you want to create. Okay, so thank you for tuning in. Again, please support my channel, hit subscribe and click the bell to be notified of more future videos to come. I am so excited to take this journey with you.